All right, ladies and gentlemen, before I say what I have to say, first listen to the story of this young woman.
Do you remember that married woman that was sent out of nysc orientation camp for committing adultery? I am that woman, and I'm here to tell you my story. This happened in 2022 in Isheomure local government, Ekiti State. I was posted to Ekiti State. In a matter of time, I started making friends. I am this kind of person that's very outgoing and love having friends, whether male or female. I have learned my lessons. I met this guy in camp. Anywhere I am, I'll see him there. If I want to buy something, he's there paying for me. I tried a couple of times to tell him, hey, I'm fine, honey. He insists on buying things. I didn't see the harm in it. Instead of opening up to me, telling me about his relationships, his intentions were to get close to me. He would always come to my hostel to just sit outside and talk. During our side, we're always sitting together. We're very close. Because of the kind of things he told me about himself, I had this soft spot for him. So anytime he wants to see me, I usually come out of my hostel to see him. One day he asked me to date him. I politely turned this guy down, told him I'm a married woman. He didn't take it lightly. He got angry. If you're married, he said, why don't you wear your wedding ring? He didn't really believe me. And so I tried to cut off all communications with him. I stopped talking to him. I stopped being his friend. I stopped picking his call. Then this guy got so obsessed with me. Everywhere I turn, he's there. That's when I started realizing that this guy was always standing outside my window. My roommates were worried. They weren't comfortable with him anymore. So I had to come outside to talk to him, to explain why we cannot continue our friendship. And while we were talking, this guy hugged me. It came as a shock. I didn't see it coming. It just hugged me. In the process of me trying to push him away, some other guys came and snapped us. They took pictures of us and videos of us. He left me, got up and went with them. That's when I realized that they were friends. I didn't know what to expect. I was confused at that point. A few hours later in my hostel, this happened in the night, they sent me a picture of I and him kissing. Conveniently, his face was not showing. He used AI. While I was still processing what was going on, he sent a video of us kissing. AI videos. You know that once view that WhatsApp does? That's what he did. He called me on the phone and said, if I cannot have you, I will send you out of this camp. I give you 10 minutes to meet me outside. I'll be behind Mami Market. Before I could even reply him, he ended the call. I tried calling my husband that evening, but his number wasn't moving through. So I just said, by morning, I'll go and report the case to my camp coordinator. By morning when I woke up, the first message I got on my phone was a query from my camp coordinator asking me to give a written reply to the allegations on me that I was caught with someone last night having sex. I was shocked. They gave me 1 hour to reply this message. I replied stating everything I know about this case, and I was invited for a court hearing. There is a court inside the nysc orientation camp where you have the camp director. He serves as the chairman of the court. You have the camp commandant. You have security head. These are like the head of police, the head of man of war, camp director, the platoon leader, and of course the lawyer who is a copper like you that's going to be representing you. Brought the allegations against me, and I tried to defend myself as much as I could. They brought in witnesses. Guess who was the witness? This guy. The lawyer that was assigned to me believed my case that I was innocent. But they're still coppers and she couldn't really defend me. I was disciplined and sent out of the orientation camp. That wasn't the terrible part of it. My husband was informed. They didn't even let me inform him myself. They called my husband and informed him. My husband called me on the phone and asked me one question. Did you do it? And I said no. And he said, I believe you. And that was everything I needed to hear. That was what gave me the strength to fight my case. My husband took a lawyer. We transferred our case to the Director General in Abuja and he reopened the case. After I was disgraced, we got a good tech team that helped us to trace the authenticity of the video. Immediately they put these videos and pictures in. It showed 98% AI. The NYC officials apologized to me and I was asked to continue my service. The painful part of all of this was the guy that set me up was not punished satisfactorily. They only gave him 1 month extension. Just 1 month. The point of the story is be careful who you receive gifts from, especially married women. Some people cannot handle rejection, so it's better not to even get yourself involved with friends of the opposite sex, because most times it doesn't really end well. I'm so fortunate that I have a husband that believes in me and trusts me. Otherwise, my case would have been sorry.
This lady went to National Youth Service in 2022. Now, you know that some of the ladies that go there are married women already. But there is one problem. I don't know whether it's because the church they attend don't wear wedding ring, or that some of them deliberately or that some of them deliberately remove their wedding rings once they get into that camp. In fact, during my service here, I saw some of them like that. Now, this lady, according to her story, she was married before she even went to the orientation camp. Now, in that orientation camp, according to her, she met a guy. Apparently, the guy was interested in her. And she cannot tell me that she doesn't know. Because one thing I have come to learn or understand over the years is that once a guy likes a girl, without even telling her, she already knows. Now, she knows the guy likes her, and she knows the angle the guy is going, but she didn't tell the guy that she's married, and she wasn't wearing her wedding ring, either by commission or by omission. That's for her to say. The guy didn't see a wedding ring, and she didn't tell the guy that she's married. You understand? Knowing fully well where the guy is going, because she can't feign ignorance about that. Now, if a woman is married, there are some level of discussions that you cannot have with guys. There are some level of distance you give guys. There are some level of closeness you don't allow. Once a guy come to you with gifts, the guy was even giving her gifts and she was accepting. Sometimes, according to her, they will discuss into the depth of the night. Sometimes 11, sometimes 10:30, and she kept that kind of company, a married woman, without making the guy know from the onset. It's her responsibility to let the guy know from the get-go that she's married, or better say, find a wedding ring and wear. But she didn't do that. But thank God she accepted her own error. According to her in that video, she said she made that mistake. She knows she made that mistake. Well, that's a bonus for her anyway. Now, going forward, when the guy finally claim with his intention, because one way or the other, they will say the reason why they are trying to get close to you. So when the guy finally told her why he is getting close to her, she told the guy that she is married, and the guy didn't believe her. Yes, now, how can you believe her when everything says otherwise? Every circumstances say otherwise. So the guy didn't believe her. When the guy tried to, some guys can be very jealous, especially when they have spent some money on you. So the guy went and framed her. You understand? Framed her, brought her before the nysc court, and the court decided to expel her. The guy went and framed her for adultery, and brought her before the nysc court, and the court decided to expel her because the guy came with evidence. Some of the people he employed in that act, they came with evidence, and the guy was a witness in the case. And this they did without proper investigation, because they should have investigated properly. Now, at the end of the day, they even informed her husband that her wife is engaged in adultery, instead of serving, you understand, instead of concentrating on the reason why she came to camp. The man picked up the phone, called his wife, according to her, asked her just one question: did you do it? And she said she didn't. Luckily for her, the man said, I believe you. That was her only saving grace. Assuming the guy didn't trust her enough, that would have been the end of the road for her. So when she said I didn't do it, and because the guy trusted her, the guy now took up the case. involved an external investigator who ended up finding out the real truth, finding out that that video or that picture is purely AI. Took that evidence back to the headquarters of nysc in Abuja, where they got that matter resolved, and they called her back to the orientation camp. One thing I didn't like the way they handled it is this: the guy that got her expelled, the guy that framed her, they only gave him 1 month extension. That means instead of the guy serving for 12 months, the guy now served for 13 months. This is a guy that should be in prison because he framed an innocent woman. He framed a fellow corps member. When the truth came out and they decided to, allow the woman continue her service here, the best thing they should have done is to permanently expel that guy that framed her. Yes, now, but they didn't do that. They only gave him 1 month extension. That's not enough punishment for a guy that framed someone else, because they expelled her in her own case. When they thought or believed she actually committed adultery, they expelled her. But the guy that framed her, when they finally found out that it was all a lie, it was all a setup, they only gave him 1 month extension. That's not fair. And then the nysc coordinators of that state that got her expelled in the first place without proper examination, without proper investigation, I think they have a case to answer to. Yes, now they should have been brought to book to ask them, why didn't you do XYZ? Why didn't you do ABC to find out if that claim was true before expelling that woman? It's a lesson for other women, people who throw away their wedding ring once they get into nysc camp and live their life the way they choose. Women who know that they are married, but they go ahead and collect gifts from unmarried guys, expecting there will be no consequences. I hope you've learned your lesson.